A Dollhouse by Henrik Ibsen. Nora Hemler enters her house carrying many packages. Her husband Trevold comes out of his study to greet her. Trevold is very affectionate, but treats Nora like a child. He teases her about spending too much money. Their family had been tight for years, but Trevold recently received a promotion at his bank, and Nora feels like they can spend money now. Their maid comes in and announces that they have two guests, their good friend Dr. Rank and an unknown woman. The unknown woman turns out to be Christine Lind, an old school friend of Nora's. Dr. Rank and Trevold go into his study, leaving Nora and Christine to talk. Nora hasn't seen Christine in years, and the years have not been kind to Christine. Christine's husband died, leaving her with no one and nothing. Nora tries to relate by telling Christine of how hard her first year of marriage was to Trevold, since they had been very poor and Trevold got sick. They had to travel to Italy so that Trevold could recover in the better climate. Christine reveals that she came to Nora in hopes that Trevold could find her employment. Nora promises to speak to Trevold about finding her a job. Christine then gently tells Nora that she is like a child. Nora is offended by this, and to show Christine that she is not like a child, she tells her secret. Nora legally had borrowed money for the trip to Italy, telling Trevold that it had come from her father. Nora had been secretly using all the money she had received to pay the loan back. Just then, Krogstad, a low-level employee at Trevold's bank, arrives and enters Trevold's study. His arrival makes Nora very nervous. Dr. Rank leaves the study and calls Krogstad a morally diseased man. After Krogstad leaves, Nora talks with her husband, and he agrees to give Christine a job. Everyone leaves the house but Nora, who's deep in thought. Soon the nanny returns with the children, and Nora starts playing with them until Krogstad returns. Nora then meets privately with Krogstad. Krogstad tells Nora that Trevold intends on firing him once he gets his promotion, and that she is to convince Trevold not to fire him, or he will reveal to her husband that she illegally borrowed the money from him by forging her father's signature. When Trevold returns, Nora tries to convince him not to fire Krogstad, but Trevold refuses, stating that Krogstad is an immoral man. The next day, Nora is very troubled. Christine comes over and helps her sew costumes for a Christmas party. Trevold arrives and Nora begs him to allow Krogstad to keep his job at the bank. Trevold refuses and sends their maid to mail a letter of dismissal to Krogstad right away. Trevold leaves and Dr. Rain enters. The doctor tells Nora he is very near to death due to his illness. Nora begins to flirt with him to cheer him up. Nora's about to ask the doctor for help, but before she can, Dr. Rank admits he is in love with her. Krogstad then arrives and the doctor leaves. Krogstad demands to be rehired at a higher position, using the letter as blackmail. Krogstad drops a letter detailing Nora's crime in Trevold's locked letter box and leaves. Nora admits everything to Christine, who tells her to delay Trevold from opening the letter. Christine and Krogstad used to be in love, and Christine promises to convince him to relent. Christine leaves. When Trevold comes home and he tries to open the mail, Nora distracts him by begging him to help her with a dance she is going to perform at the Christmas party. Nora contemplates suicide, wanting to save her husband from shame, believing he will do something rash to save her reputation. The next day, Christine meets Krogstad and tells him how she was always in love with him, but was forced to marry a wealthy man to help support her mother. Now that both her husband and mother are dead, Christine is now free to love him and be with him. Krogstad is completely overjoyed at this news, and tells Christine that he'll get the letter back from Trevold before he has a chance to read it. But Christine tells him to leave it, believing that Nora and Trevold will be better off with the truth revealed. After their costume party is over, Trevold tells Nora how good she looked dancing at the party. Dr. Rank interrupts them to say goodnight and then leaves. Trevold then reads Krogstad's letter and becomes furious. He calls Nora immoral and unfit to raise their children, that she has ruined his happiness by putting him under the power of another man. He tells her that from now on, their marriage will be merely for appearance. Their maid then entered with a letter from Krogstad bearing all the evidence against Nora. Trevold is overjoyed to get this and burns all the evidence. He then tells Nora that he forgives her. Yet the damage has been done, and Nora realizes that Trevold cares more about himself than her, and that they don't really know each other. Nora decides to leave, slamming the door behind Trevold. For Trevold treats her merely like a doll to be played with and admired, and not like a real person, and that she must go out and discover herself. The end.